Good evening. This is a power-packed edition of India Tonight this Wednesday evening. It's a political heavy-duty edition. I'm Sandeep Gurumurti joining you live from our news centre in Mumbai. And joining me in Delhi with the big story tonight is my colleague Supriya Shrinate.
Indeed, this is a big political event. It's a stunning event that's happened in Bihar, but one that will have repercussions as far as national politics is concerned. Bihar's Mahaghatbandhan has fallen apart, dealing a body blow to the anti-BJP Grand Alliance ahead of the 2019 general elections. Nitish Kumar has stepped down as the Bihar Chief Minister, taking high moral ground in his fight against corruption. Nitish says he did his best to keep the alliance intact and going, and will now look at all options, including forming an alternative alliance with other parties. The breakup in the Mahaghatbandhan, in which the Congress is a junior partner, will have huge repercussions in national politics ahead of the general elections in 2019.
Prime Minister Modi has already given enough indications that Nitish is welcome in the NDA fold. Within minutes after Nitish announced his resignation, Modi tweeted hailing his so-called fight against corruption. RJD Chief Lalu Yadav hit out at Nitish, saying there is a conspiracy hatched by the Chief Minister with the BJP's blessings. Political observers say it's a well-calculated risk by the politician in Nitish, who is known for his Chanakya skills. Nitish Kumar's shocking resignation and its impact on national politics ahead of the 2019 general election. That's our top story on India Tonight.
They came together and trounced the mighty Modi in 2015. They even established the index of opposition unity. But now the eye-grabbing Mahaghatbandhan in Bihar has been dealt a fatal blow. After a rift with his Deputy Chief Minister Tejasvi Yadav and widening differences with Lalu, Nitish Kumar today decided to quit as the state's Chief Minister.
हमने अपनी तरफ से गठबंधन धर्म का पूरा पालन करने की कोशिश की, और जब पूरे माहौल को हमने देखा है और उसके बाद मुझको लगा कि मेरे जैसे व्यक्ति के लिए ये हमारे अंतरात्मा की आवाज है। हमने राहुल जी से भी बातचीत की, ठीक है, और आप सब जानते हैं उनका भी अब तक का जो रुख रहा है उसको देखते हुए, क्योंकि उन्होंने ऑर्डिनेंस फाड़ा था, ये सारी बातें थी, इसको देखते हुए कुछ ऐसा तो कीजिए। और जो मेरा विचार है और अब तक का जो हमारा काम करने का तौर तरीका है, हम उस पर अब तक काम करते रहे, और जब मुझको दिख गया कि अब उस आधार पर और उस तौर तरीके से आप काम नहीं कर सकते हैं, तो हमने मुनासिब समझा अपने आप को अलग कर लिया।
The rift between Nitish and Tejasvi Yadav began when Lalu's son refused to resign as the Deputy Chief Minister, even after serious charges of graft were levelled against him. The Yadav clan kept alleging vendetta politics for being probed, and even now insists that Nitish has quit because he was going to be charged with murder allegations.
नीतीश कुमार को मालूम हो गया था कि जाली और फ्रिंजी ग्राउंड पर जब महत्वपूर्ण बात को देखो कि हम इस्तीफा मांग रहे हैं तेजस्वी से, नीतीश कुमार 302 के मुद्दाले हैं, और उनको ये बात मालूम हो गई कि हिंदुस्तान का एक चीफ मिनिस्टर मर्डर केस का, आर्म्स एक्ट का अव्वल मुद्दाले है और उसके खिलाफ संज्ञान लिया जा चुका है।
But the resignation has left room for speculation. Is Nitish going back into the NDA fold? Especially given the fact that within minutes of Nitish's resignation, it was none other than the Prime Minister himself who welcomed his efforts to join the fight against corruption by leaving aside political considerations. And the big lord by the Bihar BJP has given more credence to the potential new alliance in the making.
और हम लोगों को खुशी है कि राज्य के मुख्यमंत्री ने भ्रष्टाचार के मुद्दे पर कोई समझौता नहीं किया, राजद के सामने घुटना नहीं टेका, कांग्रेस ने कोई हस्तक्षेप नहीं किया और उन्होंने इस्तीफा दिया है। तो एक बड़े मुद्दे को लेकर, एक करप्शन के मुद्दे को लेकर उन्होंने अपना इस्तीफा दिया है। हम इसका स्वागत करते हैं। भारतीय जनता पार्टी मध्यवादी चुनाव के पक्ष में नहीं है। हम नहीं चाहते कि बिहार के अंदर कोई मिड टर्म इलेक्शन हो।
BJP and JDU members add up to 129 in a house where the 122 mark is the clear majority. But Nitish's resignation comes as a big setback to the opposition's unity. The alliance in Bihar was an unprecedented example of unity between two opposing parties to keep the BJP at bay. It set the ground for other opposition parties to stitch an alliance against the seemingly invincible Modi-Shah duo. But that experiment has come crumbling down. Political observers meanwhile insist that the support to demonetization, breaking opposition ranks to support Kovind, not campaigning in Uttar Pradesh for the Congress and the Samajwadi are too many incidents that point to Nitish planning the divorce for a while. But for now, the idea of any Gathbandhan in the opposition is elusive, and the Bihar fallout will perhaps be felt most in 2019. ET Now Bureau Report. We stay on with that big breaking political story and we take it across to Prashant Kumar, who's joining us all the way from Patna, and Nayantara Rai, who's going to take it forward right here in New Delhi. And Prashant, to you first, Nitish's move wasn't really a surprise. What happens to the Grand Alliance now? What next in Bihar? Is Nitish open, and is he openly seeking BJP support? Because the BJP is not cutting corners in stating that they're willing to offer one.
Well, absolutely, in what could be called the biggest embarrassment and the biggest setback for the politics of Mahaghatbandhan, the opposition's entire ploy of Mahaghatbandhan, Bihar Chief Minister Nitish Kumar today put in his papers after being in tremendous pressure ever since the name of his Deputy Chief Minister Yashwi Yadav featured in that CBI's FIR. Now, Nitish Kumar, who was seemingly upset with the entire political scenario and the attacks that was going on his particular image, he finally decided to meet the governor and he has now handed over the resignation. But minutes after that, the kind of tweet that came in from the Prime Minister and the kind of sentiments that we are seeing on the ground from the BJP leaders seem to suggest that the BJP is very, very open to support Nitish Kumar. But the question really is whether Nitish Kumar, which had dissed Narendra Modi in 2013, whether he will be seeking support of the same BJP once again for his political gains. But clearly, with the kind of message coming in from the BJP top sources and also the kind of message coming in from the allies like LJP, Ram Vilas Paswan's LJP, it seems clear that no party, be it the BJP or the JDU, are in the favor of mid-term election in Bihar, and hence we may well see a government headed by Nitish Kumar and supported by the BJP in the state of Bihar.
Well, if you needed an official confirmation, that's come through now with Sushil Modi, the BJP's leader in Bihar, issuing a statement saying that he has offered unconditional support to Nitish Kumar. Nayantara has been tracking all the swift developments in New Delhi. Within minutes after Nitish Kumar's move to resign, we had a tweet coming in from the Prime Minister. The BJP's parliamentary board met almost on cue, and now these comments coming in from Sushil Modi as well. Put it all in context, Nayantara.
I think you summed it up quite well, Sandeep, but that's exactly how it panned out. Minutes after Nitish Kumar's resignation, and it was rather unprecedented for Narendra Modi to have reacted like that, but he did, and he did in a tweet. And if you're seeing Twitter diplomacy also, with a few minutes ago, Nitish Kumar thanking the Prime Minister for that tweet in which Narendra Modi said he congratulates Nitish Kumar for fighting against corruption and going for the wish of 125 crore Indians in that fight against corruption. And this is the breaking news at this moment. Sushil Kumar Modi in Bihar confirming that they are willing to support the JDU, they're willing to form the government under JDU, and they will inform the governor of the same. Obviously BJP and the NDA in Bihar doesn't have the same kind of numbers as Nitish Kumar. So any alliance would obviously mean that Nitish Kumar is going to be at the helm of it, and that's exactly what Sushil Kumar Modi has also said. They will form the government under Nitish Kumar. Now in Delhi today, you did see a BJP parliamentary board meet, which of course includes the Prime Minister, Amit Shah, Arun Jaitley, Sushma Swaraj, JP Nadda, Nitin Gadkari, etc. And we are being told that Bihar was of course on top of the agenda, as with Amit Shah's move towards parliament. We'll get to that later. So these are all the developments that took place, but it's seeming official now that BJP will support the government formed under Nitish Kumar, and Sushil Modi saying they were even willing to tell the governor about this.
Indeed. Thank you very much, Nayantara Rai and Prashant Kumar joining us all the way from Patna on that. This is a big breaking story. This is potentially going to change the contours of Indian politics if Nitish Kumar does come back in the NDA fold. Sushil Modi on record has now said that they will now inform the governor that they're willing to support Nitish. How damning will this be for Nitish? Is this a political gamble? Is this a very well thought out political option that he's opted for? What happens to this whole grand idea of opposition unity? How does this impact 2019? We've got a stellar panel here. We've got Sanju Verma from the BJP, Sanjay from the Congress Party, R. Jagannathan of Swaraj, and Mr. N. Ram of Hindu. Thank you very much, each one of you, for being with us. And, Jaggi, I would like to start with you. I would like to start with you on this whole resignation that Nitish has given. And, he's taken this high moral ground. He said, I could not preside over a government that had such deep charges of graft and corruption. Is this a very crafty political move, or has he really resigned on a principled issue?
I think it's a bit of both. It's obviously an opportunistic reason that he has given, that he's doing this because he's worried about corruption and other things. But the real problem is he is reacting to Lalu Prasad's overreach in terms of trying to be the real power behind the throne and being the mover and shaker there. So Lalu Prasad actually reduced his options. And so when this Tejasvi Yadav corruption scandal erupted suddenly with all the raids and other things, it gave him a nice exit point, and he made a moral issue of it. So, but the reality was that he was beholden too much to Lalu, and he did not like that position. If he had to choose between two evils, whether it's a Lalu Yadav or a BJP, my guess is that he would choose the latter, as long as he gets to call all the shots. And that's the position he has placed himself right now. We can't be sure that this is what will happen, but this is where it seems to be heading as of now. And the BJP is trying to preempt other possibilities by announcing support, which means that the governor can't happily give it to somebody else to form the government. Of course, the governor is a BJP appointee, so he's unlikely to jump and do anything that's against what the BJP would want right now.
Before we talk about what's going to happen next, let me get in N. Ram's view as well before I throw it open to the representatives of the two political parties on the debate. N. Ram, do you agree with Jaggi there? Is it a bit of both, a bit of political opportunism and a bit of grandstanding on the issue of corruption? The fact that, there was an easy exit for him out of the Mahaghatbandhan. He served the term for 1/3 of the term as a chief minister. It was always an uncomfortable alliance. The graft charges against Tejasvi provided that easy exit for Nitish Kumar.
Yes, absolutely. If you look at Nitish Kumar's political trajectory, he's been with the BJP and he's enacted these resignation dramas on a few occasions. He tries to claim the moral high ground. It doesn't always work, but as has been pointed out in this program, there have been plenty of indications. And so far as the RJD and Congress are concerned, he was clearly becoming a very unreliable ally. Now, corruption can't be the only issue. The BJP has done the government has done some selective targeting. They have corrupt people in their ranks. The Vyapam scandal in Madhya Pradesh, you have problems in Karnataka and so on. But coming back to Nitish Kumar, I think it's not as though he didn't know what was cooking. There have been charges against, there's a conviction of Lalu Prasad. And there have been charges before, but he was happily with it because, so net, he's a bit of a weathercock who sees, which way the wind is blowing. He sees it that way, right or wrong. And then I think his actions, his political decisions are guided by it. Whether he'll accept the BJP's offer remains to be seen. I wouldn't know that he would lose some shine. Certainly if he did that, having just resigned on a so-called moral issue, he could... his image could be compromised, but it is a significant setback to the opposition, no question about it.
Right.
We shall see.
Yeah, I don't think anyone is going to sort of dispute the fact that it's a significant setback to the opposition. Sanjay might have a different point of view, but Sanju Verma, I know it's going to be tough for you to be critical of Nitish right now. But, the point that N. Ram made about, what has changed when he got into this alliance with Lalu Yadav, surely he knew that he was partnering a leader with significant taint. There were graft charges against Lalu Prasad Yadav from, for years now. So what has changed now for Nitish Kumar to take this sort of, grand grandstanding position. Has the BJP facilitated this exit for Nitish Kumar from the Mahaghatbandhan?
You know, first things first, you have two distinguished panelists on your panel, and I choose to disagree with both Mr. N. Ram and Mr. Jagannathan, who make it seem as if, you know, given that Nitish Kumar is a weathercock, to borrow Mr. N. Ram's phrase, and what Mr. Jagannathan said that, you know, Nitish Kumar was pushed to a corner and had no other option but to call it quits. I think that's as far from the truth as can be, because do remember that this alliance in many ways was doomed to fail. And while all of us can be smarter in hindsight, you know, and none of us, you know, have a crystal ball to tell what the situation will be a few weeks down the line, the fact of the matter is that both of them, the time when they came together, both of them were opportunists. And well, you might want to say that in politics, you never have, you know, friends or enemies for life, and, you know, opportunism is the name of the game. But I think it was not simply the, you know, fodder scam legacy, which all of us are aware of and which Nitish Kumar was well aware of when he partnered with Lalu. I think what worked against Lalu and Tejashwi, I think today they might be, you know, repenting in leisure, because, you know, all the false bravado of Tejashwi Yadav, you know, to TV cameras and TV studios in the last 48 hours, and Lalu Yadav, you know, enjoying that moment of hubris, thinking that, you know, nothing can happen to his government. And I see it as a situation where Nitish Kumar has had the last laugh and virtually pulled the rug from under the Yadav clan. I think what broke the camel's back and why Nitish Kumar actually exited is the fact that Tejashwi Yadav was not even willing to give an explanation. So I think, to put it plain and simple, this was gross insubordination. He forgot that while the RJD has 80 seats, don't forget that even the JDU is just marginally lower at 71, with the Congress being obviously further down the you know, hierarchy at 27 odd seats. So I think it was a case of hubris, false bravado. Of course, for Nitish Kumar, it was a great opportunity to, you know, push forward the perception that he stands for governance, he stands for development, he stands for an anti-corrupt government, because that is what he promised at the hustings. So I think this is a complex jigsaw. The equation is not as simple as one would like to believe. Things will play themselves out, but I clearly feel that Lalu Yadav and Tejashwi Yadav have shot themselves in the foot, because don't forget, a couple of minutes back, Lalu Yadav even said, if Nitish Kumar decides to come back, Tejashwi Yadav will not continue as deputy CM. So I think those words reek of a certain amount of repentance. So while he can say that Nitish is, you know, facing a taint under section 302, the fact is that there is an iota of regret. So I think in hindsight, maybe the father and son overreached their brief.
Okay, I get that. I get that, Sanju Verma, the point that you're trying to make, that maybe in hindsight, Lalu and Tejashwi did not realize that Nitish could call it quits. But Sanjay, I'm going to throw this to you, and I have two questions coming your way. Lalu Yadav has alleged that Nitish Kumar has insisted time and again that there is a lack of credible opposition narrative. I don't think it's just Nitish Kumar who's saying that. I think there are many others who are saying that today, because the only reason that the Mahaghatbandhan happened, the index of opposition unity was seen in Bihar, the only factor that brought all of you together was the anti-Modi bloc. So A, how big a setback is to this anti-Modi bloc, and B, Nitish Kumar, while quitting as Bihar Chief Minister, has not spared the Congress party either. He has said that Rahul Gandhi walked in and tore the ordinance that would have impacted Lalu Yadav first and foremost, but they did not play a very decisive role in getting Tejashwi Yadav to resign and fight the charges of graft as the known Deputy Chief Minister. So in some sense, the Congress party has been thrown, it's almost the baby and the bathwater case here with the Congress and the RJD. I mean, the Congress is not being spared also. You're being seen as siding with those who are tainted this evening.
Supriya, I'll just try and answer very succinctly here. First and foremost, it was just less than 2 years ago that the Mahaghatbandhan got a huge mandate from the people of Bihar. I come from the state. Let me tell you that the people of the state were overjoyed at the results. They rejected the NDA, they rejected Mr. Narendra Modi, they completely threw out the divisive communal politics of the BJP. And by the way, if you look at the track record of Bihar, it always has done that to the BJP. It has never allowed them to singularly have a significant footprint in the state. Now, coming down to the current situation, let me not try and speculate here, but on behalf of my party, all I can tell you is that we still, have to recognize that the people of Bihar trusted this alliance to pull it through for the entire 5-year term. And on ground reality, Supriya, I'm not trying to exaggerate it, but the feedback from the people of Bihar has been encouraging and very positive. Now, as far as, the issue of corruption is concerned, I was a little amused by the Prime Minister, Mr. Modi's extraordinarily paced tweet on the political developments in Bihar when he talked about principled politics and corruption. By that logic, Mr. Modi will have very few BJP chief ministers left, considering the kind of charges of corruption against them. So maybe, charity begins at home. And Mr. Modi needs to ask many of his chief ministers to resign, whether in Madhya Pradesh or Rajasthan, or for that matter, the former chief minister of Gujarat, the current chief minister of Chhattisgarh, who's just had some land encroachment issues with one of the ministers, and of course not to forget the Birla Sahara tapes. There's far too much of corruption in the BJP. It's a different issue that the media over the last 3 years hasn't been talking about it, but they are going to surface at some point for sure. Now the truth is that yes, at the moment there is a political serious gridlock in Bihar. As a party, we are, as we humbly accept, the junior most party in the coalition. Sanju Verma is absolutely right. Both the RJD and JDU are more formidable part of the coalition. I thought we had a very strong common ideological platform. Please don't think that just because the BJP government has trashed secularism that it has become an old-fashioned concept. I believe the way things are in the country, secularism is an extremely serious subject that we should not ignore. And I think that is not going to be washed away. As far as corruption is concerned, we all agree that one needs to obliterate that. But there is one point that we need to accept. That end of day, I think we have to go down and recognize the people of Bihar will be extremely disappointed if the Mahaghatbandhan does not yet find some degree of, I would say, the alliance working. So we'll try our best to troubleshoot and create hopefully a stable structure going forward, no matter how difficult it looks at the moment.
All right, just hold on, just hold to that thought, because a stable structure going forward is exactly the point that I want to take forward with N. Ram. And Mr. Ram, the index of opposition unity, the whole anti-Modi bloc, and Nitish was almost being considered as the catalyst of that bloc, as the leader who could lead that bloc. This certainly is a huge setback to the opposition, is it not?
Yes, it is for the time being, and we have to see what's happening on the ground. But I reiterate that this is the behavior of a weathercock. This is how he sees things going. There are a number of things he did which indicated what was to come, and I think he was looking for an issue. I don't think it's going to give him a great deal of mileage among the masses, this business about being anti-corruption and so on. I think they will see through that. Certainly some sections will see through that. And I think, but it is a significant, it is a very serious setback to attempts by the opposition. Not that it was contradiction-free. It was full of contradictions, as you would expect. But they got together and delivered a surprising blow to the BJP at that point. But since then, the BJP has recovered some ground, and I think we'll have to wait and see. But to romanticize Nitish Kumar as a great anti-corruption warrior, as somebody standing for principles, I think is laughable.
The jury is still out on where does this leave Nitish Kumar in the medium to long term. BJP may be a sort of near-term beneficiary of this exercise. The opposition may take a knock. Where is this going to leave Nitish Kumar is a question mark, and I tend to agree with you there, N. Ram. But Jaggi, if I may take this to you, the point that the Supriya was asking as well earlier, which is the fact that the lack of a counter narrative. I mean, Nitish Kumar, who, if you were to take him at face value, joined this anti-Modi bloc, so to say, and when he resigned today, he's saying explicitly that there is no agenda, that there is no coherent agenda. For example, the government has at least seemingly has an agenda of anti-corruption, and they've sort of walked the talk on that to some extent. So there is no coherent opposition agenda, that there is no coherent counter narrative. I know what will get thrown at us is it's the idea of India, but that is vague, and every 125 crore Indian, has an idea of India. So, do you think at one level that's an issue here as well, and that to that extent it's a bigger setback to the anti-Modi bloc, so to say?
Yeah, absolutely. The fact is the opposition has had only one thing that together. The only thing unifying you. Where is the question of India coming into the picture? I mean, opposition to one man or one party cannot be the idea of India. So forget it. They did not have anything coherent except the fact that he's a stronger party and they needed to get together in order to show him his place. So now the problem is, where do you go from here? They have to rethink their whole hypothesis on how they're going to fight the BJP in 2019. For now, that dream has been shattered and is broken in pieces. I don't think they can build it thing. Nitish Kumar has been a smart, done his own politics. So I think he'll have to find his way back to the things he's for 2019. I don't think he can get much chase by staying with the JDU.
Sanju Verma, I know you want to come in there, and I'm sure you'll have a comment to make on what Sanjay Jha said as well. But, I want to add my question here as well, which is that, the point that Lalu Yadav made in that press conference, it almost seemed as if there was a setting. Now that it's, the swiftness with which the BJP has moved, whether it's a tweet from the Prime Minister, the BJP Parliamentary Board meeting, comments from every leader, from, Ram Vilas Paswan to Ravi Shankar Prasad, and now, of course, we've got, from Sushil Modi as well. The swiftness with which, this has happened, it doesn't seem that the BJP has been taken by surprise at all.
Okay, I would now like to, put a couple of things out for the benefit of your audience.
Sure.
I think Mr. Sanjay Jha, so much like his party, is that proverbial ostrich with head buried under the sand, suffering from persecution complex. All that they can see and whine about is this anti-Modi agenda. And they don't seem to have realized that even after May 2014, there have been 30+ odd assembly and civic body polls under the so-called able leadership of their scion-in-waiting Mr. Rahul Gandhi, and they have failed at the hustings every time, repeatedly, every now and then. So much for this false bravado of Mr. Jha. Now, coming to some of the other important points, this whole halabaloo about, Nitish Kumar being a weathercock. Well, I don't hold a brief for the JDU, but, I have a problem with dynast wannabes and dynast has-beens. Sonia Gandhi, Rahul Gandhi, Mulayam Singh Yadav, Akhilesh Yadav, and now Lalu Yadav and Tejashwi Yadav. This whole putra moh, I think that is what is doing them in. And let me tell you one more thing. Are you telling me the Income Tax Department, the CBI, the Serious Fraud Investigation Office, the Enforcement Directorate, the agencies under PMLA have all just got one agenda, and that is vendetta against Lalu Yadav and his family? I think that's stretching your imagination a bit too far. Don't forget that under the amended Benami Transactions Act of 2016, whereby if you have bought or have had a property transferred to your name, but you have not paid the consideration for it, it is a Benami transaction, and you're liable to face 7 years rigorous imprisonment and more. And look at, AB Exports, AK Infosystems, Delight Marketing, Michelle Printers and Packers Private Limited. All of these are companies which started off as shell companies, and today they are owned by Lalu's huge clan, including Tejashwi Yadav, Tej Pratap Yadav, his 2 daughters Chanda Yadav, Ragini Yadav. So please, who are we trying to fool? The question is that Lalu Yadav has been nailed, and how? So crying foul and crying wolf is not going to help. As far as the BJP goes, the Prime Minister has simply said he welcomes Nitish Yadav's stance of choosing to part ways with a tainted Lalu Yadav and his more tainted son. What's wrong with that? Na khaunga, na khane dunga is not a jumla.
Okay, I get your point.
It's not a euphemism. We have stood by it. And Mr. Sanjay Jha should be worried about Robert Vadra. Let the Dhingra Commission report be out in public domain. We will
I am not going to let you hijack the debate with Robert Vadra there. We are talking about Nitish Kumar and we are talking about the political developments in Bihar. I am not getting in Robert Vadra into this discussion. But Sanjay Jha, I'm going to throw this to you. The point that Sanju Verma is making, you cannot be that proverbial ostrich which believes that the world around it is not going to change. It also seems to suggest at this point in time that, you know, whether it's political posturing, whether there was a backroom deal with the BJP, Nitish Kumar has taken a calculated move. It gives you a sense of how much India has changed. He is willing to lose political capital in Bihar. There is a Yadav and a Muslim vote. He is willing to forego of that because Indians do not like corrupt politics anymore. Is the Congress living in denial on that? Can you still choose to be on Lalu Yadav's side? Because that kind of politics, that era of politics seems to be over for India.
You know, Supriya, in short, I don't want to take too long, but, you know, let's not even get into these allegations of dynastic politics, because I can give a whole list of Rajnath Singh and Raman Singh and Vasundhara Raje and everybody, Shivraj Chauhan, everybody's kids are in politics. And by the way, they have Maneka Gandhi, who was formerly with the Congress with them. So, I mean, they should stop talking about dynastic politics. Enough of this hypocritical nonsense. I think the simple point here is that corruption, nobody's going to deny, is an issue on which we all need to take a very, very firm stand, non-negotiable. You have to make sure that people who are having any kind of reputation issues, they need to be out of political life. Now, let me tell you two things here. If Mr. Rahul Gandhi hadn't torn that ordinance, for which a lot of people criticize the method without realizing the long-term gain, a lot of Indian politicians actually would be getting away scot-free. So give Mr. Rahul Gandhi credit for actually ensuring that the political system was purged of people who had any kind of graft allegations against them. The second point is equally critical, that we got to recognize that the country has a law, it has a legal process, it has courts. And if allegations are the only way by which somebody in politics has to survive or not survive, then I can tell you, which is why I started the program by telling you that BJP would have new chief ministers in practically all the states. And probably you would have a new prime minister, because Mr. Modi had very serious charges against him on the Birla Sahara papers. So I don't think we should get into that kind of a debate. Personally, I can tell you this, that, you know, coming from Bihar and being very optimistic about the Mahaghatbandhan surviving, we are extremely disappointed at the developments that have happened. The Congress party will still try its level best to make sure that there is reconciliation and reapproachment. Because I can tell you one thing for a fact, that, you know, BJP is providing this outside support now very publicly, and everybody is speaking about Mr. Nitish Kumar in such glowing terms. They should remember what Nitish Kumar had to say about Mr. Modi when he split in 2014, when he remembered the mass murders in Gujarat in 2002 and questioned the secular credentials of the man that the BJP wanted as Prime Minister. So I think I'm very amused at Sanju Verma's, you know, adulation for Mr. Nitish Kumar, but I think she should read what he had to say about Mr. Modi in 2014.
I was actually going to take that point up with N. Ram, and I'm glad you're pointing it out to me. And if I may just quote Nitish Kumar way back, just a few months back actually, when he did quit that alliance, and when, I mean, the kind of things that he had to say, he said the real Modi on display, brazen attempt to add communal texture to Bihar polls, but deafening silence on deplorable incidents of Dadri. That was the tweet that came in from the Bihar Chief Minister, who was just about to quit. But Mr. N. Ram, there are two questions. Is Nitish Kumar, in his attempt to be above this tainted politics, to appear this Sushasan politician, staking too much of his political capital? The Yadavs and the Muslim make up a substantial chunk in Bihar as well. And the other question has to be about the staunch opposition he's had to the Prime Minister himself. There was a personality clash. How is he going to today justify joining hands with the BJP when he's actually spoken against communalism? Given the current narrative in this country, given the narrative around mob lynching and all of that, how is Nitish Kumar going to justify joining hands with the BJP? I fail to understand. I'm wondering if you have any answers to that.
I think he's going to tie himself into knots. One way, he may not want to explain it, but I really find, I think he's in an unenviable position, because these things are going to come out in the polity, and Nitish Kumar, this only reinforces the point, the reality of Nitish Kumar being an opportunist politician. He's not guided by any principles. He has certain capabilities, no question about it. You know, at the helm of office, he did some positive things, but his, you know, the dramas he has staged, the political dramas, the resignation dramas he has staged, do not reflect well on his political wisdom at all. And I don't think He's in a position to explain any of these things, because he can say that, yeah, yes, there are contradictions in anyone's political life or in an alliance and so on, but that's as far as he can go. I think he is really in an unenviable position, contrary to some of the noises you hear out there celebrating it. And by the way, this tweeting habit shades of Donald Trump.
Right. Okay. Let me get Sanju Verma in before I toss it to Jaggi there. And I want to repeat this quote, this tweet that Nitish Kumar put out 8th of October 2015. Sanju Verma. Nitish Kumar says the real Modi on display. Brazen attempt to add communal texture to Bihar polls, but deafening silence on deplorable incidents of Dadri. There's an army out there of the BJP that sort of goes after anyone who criticizes any policy of the government or the Prime Minister, whatnot. Here is a politician who has directly attacked the Prime Minister. Why is the BJP being so generous and offering him support? Why don't you call elections? Why does the BJP need to, let the voters go back, let the voter decide who should rule the state of Bihar? Why is the BJP being so sort of anxious to join hands with Nitish Kumar?
Okay, I think that's a very interesting question, and I'm glad you posed that to me. I don't think the BJP is anxious. I think, that's absolutely unacceptable. Let me tell you very categorically that Mr. Modi, I think, to my mind, is perhaps one of the most trolled leaders of the world. But when you take political decisions, taking into account the complex equations at play, particularly in this case, you don't allow personal hubris or vendetta politics to overshadow the larger interests of a certain cause that you believe in. And I think no one can take away from Mr. Modi the fact that, in the last 3 years, he's done more in terms of development. I can tell you, if I wear the hat of an economist, given that that's my first love, be it the bankruptcy code, be it Jan Dhan, be it, the NPA ordinance, be it Mudra
But how
Bank
do you
Yojana,
justify this?
be it the fact that you had a 7.9%.
Sanju Verma, no one is disputing that, and definitely not on ET now. But let's not change topics. I am saying, how are you going to justify? Why do you need to join hands with the JDU? Is a simple question I'm asking.
Let me complete. I ask you, why should we not? Why should we not? Are you telling that personal opinions should overshadow the larger interests of what political compulsions entail? I'm sorry, that does not make for either good politics or good economics. And let me tell you one more thing. Supriya said, how can Nitish Kumar join hands with BJP given this whole halablu about cow lynchings, etc.? I ask you and of your audience, how can Nitish Kumar continue to stay in an alliance with the Congress and Lalu Yadav, knowing it's a sinking ship? A. B. Knowing very well that apart from Modi bashing, there's no common ideology. C. A very tainted Yadav clan, which is still, in a la-la land of hubris. Point number 4, let's not forget that the Congress has not covered itself in glory as the, details of Bofors keep crawling out of the woodwork. After 30 years, we realized that Rajiv Gandhi was involved.
That is your planted work with your favorite channel.
Deep in it. So who are we trying to fool
on your
here?
favorite channel which you
who
own.
Are we trying to fool
right,
here?
Let's restrict this debate to let's restrict this debate to politician and party bashing. Let's not get down to media bashing. Okay, Sanju Verma, I need to interrupt you there. We can go on and on. I've got 2 eminent journalists on the panel as well. Right.
With the national integrity of India on the Samjhauta blast.
All right, we can do a separate debate on Samjhauta blast and all of that, and I'm sure we will get a point of view there as well. But I need to, Sanju Verma, Sanjay, this cannot go on. We've had a Sanju Verma, Sanjay, there's a reason we don't do debates the way some other channels do. So, I would urge you to respect that. Let me get in a word. Okay, I get your point. I'm going to interrupt you there, Sanju Verma. I am going to interrupt you there, Sanju Verma, and I want to get in a word from, I want to get a closing comment from R. Jagannathan. I want to get a closing comment from R. Jagannathan, because this debate is going to go nowhere. We'll just go on and on, shouting and screaming at each other. Jaggi, the last word to you. One is that the JDU comes with 10 members in the Rajya Sabha. Assuming that they were to get together with the BJP, How much leverage does that give the BJP to push ahead with its legislative agenda? Because that is what we ET Now would also care about. Number one. Number two, the big headline from a 2019 point of view. You know that Omar Abdullah's controversial tweet when he said that, you know, that the opposition now needs to focus on 2023 and not 2019. You know, does this sort of add more meat to that tweet? What is your own assessment? Right. The impact of today's development on 2019 and the legislative power that this could potentially give the BJP?
I would suspect that the Rajya Sabha factor would be the least important right now. The most important thing is the Bihar politics, the immediate assembly control, and who will head the state government, and the build-up to 2019. If Nitish Kumar finally decides to accept BJP support and form the government again, you're actually going to see a UP kind of coalition of castes and communities shaping up in Bihar in 2019. The UP coalition in Bihar was largely a non-Yadav, non-Muslim grouping, which the BJP had put up with all the smaller non-OBCs, excluding the Yadavs, and a section of the Dalits. Now, that's precisely the combination that's going to develop in Bihar. So that is what is likely to happen if Nitish Kumar decides to go with the BJP. As far as the Rajya Sabha complexion is concerned, yes, this addition of 10 will make a huge difference. And by 2018, when other numbers start changing, it will enable Narendra Modi to push through difficult legislation, which so far has been stymied in the Rajya Sabha. So these are the two things that you expect. As far as the general morality issue is concerned, I would think that Nitish Kumar has been flexible enough. He has said things about Modi as Lalu Yadav, as somebody else. So making the shift, I think, is not going to be difficult. I think it's the political future and the arithmetic of Bihar that he will be concerned about. That's what will lead him to the next stage.
Right. All right. On that note, our Jagannathan, Mr. N. Ram, Sanju, Verma and Sanjay Jha, thank you very, very much for being with us on this very special show as we discuss and debate the stunning political development in Bihar, one that is going to have repercussions on Indian politics. And like we've been saying all along, politics has no permanent enemies. It certainly doesn't have permanent friends. It's always made for strange bedfellows, and we're seeing perhaps one more in the making all over again.
Find us on Facebook at facebook.com/ETNow, and don't forget to click the like button. You can also follow us on Twitter at ETNowLive. To stay updated with all our programming, hit the subscribe button on our YouTube channel by logging on to youtube.com/ETNow.